Welcome to Women on Death Row. I'm JT. Today, for episode 9, we're going to talk about Maria del Rosio Alfaro from California. As with any episode in this series, I'll be covering this case utilizing primary documentation, provided I could find it. Any sources used will be in the show notes. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so we can let you know whenever a new video is posted or when we go live. That's the cheapest way to support us. And the easiest. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Maria del Rosio Alfaro, often referred to as Rosie, was born in 1971 and grew up in a troubled environment marked by poverty, instability, and substance abuse. By her teenage years, Alfaro had become heavily involved in drugs, primarily heroin, which influenced her descent into criminal behavior. Her drug addiction fueled a series of petty crimes and ultimately led to the tragic events that would define her life and legal battles. On June 15th, 1990, Autumn Wallace, born January 15th, 1981, age 9, was home by herself in Anaheim, California. She was waiting for her older sister and mom to return home from work. Alfaro knew the Wallace family very well and was friendly with one of the oldest daughters. She thought they were out and that she would be able to steal items from the house in order to sell them to purchase drugs. Autumn opened the door for Alfaro, her sister's friend, who asked to use the bathroom. Alfaro took a knife from the kitchen before proceeding to the bathroom and coaxed Autumn into the bathroom on a ruse, proceeding to stab her 50 times. Alfaro then raided the house for something to steal, supposedly to acquire that drug money. The stolen property was later sold for $240. Police quickly identified Alfaro as a suspect due to her known association with the family and her criminal history. Witnesses reported seeing Alfaro near the Wallace residence on the day of the murder, and physical evidence, including fingerprints and bloodstains, linked her to the crime scene. Alfaro was apprehended shortly after the murder. She confessed to the crime during a police-taped interview, stating she was high on heroin and cocaine, which was never proven since she wasn't arrested and drug tested within the 36 to 48 hours of the murder. But she said she was high on heroin and cocaine when she stabbed Autumn. Later, she changed her story and alleged an unidentified man forced her to stab the little girl. Still later, Alfaro told police that 2 men drove her to the Wallace home, and one of the men entered the house and forced her to kill Autumn. She refused to identify the man. The evidence from the crime scene only indicated that members of the Wallace family and Alfaro, based on her fingerprints and a matched bloodstained shoe print, were present in the home that day. Alfaro's trial began in 1992. The prosecution presented a compelling case, highlighting Alfaro's detailed confession, the physical evidence linking her to the crime, and the brutal manner in which Autumn Wallace was killed. The prosecution argued that Alfaro's actions were premeditated and driven by her desperate need for drug money, which justified the pursuit of the death penalty. The defense attempted to mitigate Alfaro's culpability by emphasizing her troubled upbringing, severe drug addiction, and impaired mental state at the time of the crime. They argued that her actions were not entirely within her control and that she deserved leniency due to the significant mitigating circumstances. Despite those arguments, the jury found Alfaro guilty of first-degree murder and recommended the death penalty. In 1992, Alfaro was sentenced to death. Her case underwent a series of appeals over the years, with her defense team arguing against the validity of her confession, the adequacy of her legal representation, and the appropriateness of the death penalty given her background and mental health issues. However, the California Supreme Court upheld her conviction and sentence, emphasizing the brutality of the crime and the weight of the evidence against her. The case of Maria del Rosio Alfaro is a tragic and complex example of the interplay interplay between crime, substance abuse, and the criminal justice system. It underscores the importance of considering a broader context of an individual's actions, including their background and mental health, when determining appropriate sentencing. As Alfaro remains on death row, her case continues to prompt critical discussions about justice, rehabilitation, and the ethical implications of the death penalty. Thank you so much for tuning in to Women on Death Row. If you liked this, you can find all this and more on the True Crime and Wine Time YouTube channel, as well as the Courtyard Discord server. Click on the Discord invite link in the show notes and get ready for a great time with wonderful people. Until next time, take care of yourself, your friends, family, and community. Don't let anybody dull that sparkle. And shine on, you crazy diamonds. Shine on.